Hey there, I'm Dr. Karen McNeil, and I am a psychologist, a performance consultant, a speaker, past Team Canada athlete, and now a soccer mom. And I was recently asked if I had one message for parents and coaches of young athletes, what would it be? And looking through the lens of mental performance and mental health, it would be this: help your young athlete excel and be well by taking a proactive approach and skilling them up with mental fitness tools early on in their career. I want to tell you a brief story of why I think this is so important. So, as I mentioned, I played for Team Canada. I was in the Canadian field hockey team for about a decade, represented my country in over 100 matches. But it was the first match where the biggest lesson came. And we were playing against Holland in a stadium just outside of Amsterdam. And unlike in Canada, this stadium was packed. There was a Heineken tent. The music was blaring. So as you can manage, felt a lot of stress and pressure to perform. And so when I got on that field, I was kind of running around with like a chicken with my head cut off and completely underperformed. And so after about 4 or 5 minutes, I got yanked. My first opportunity to represent my country, and I blew it. I trained my craft. My technical skill was decent. Trained my body. I was physically fit, but I had not trained my mind. And so, as I was consoling myself in the Heineken tent after the game, I thought, never again, never would I let my mind be a thief of my big moment. And so I've taken that lesson and made it my life's work. 4 degrees later, 2 masters and a PhD, attending and supporting athletes and coaches at 5 Olympic Games, working in this field for over 20 years. I have had a mission of helping performers bolster resilience and cultivate a mentally fit mindset so they can unleash their highest potential in any situation. And so that's what I want to talk to you about, is how can we start doing this with your young athletes. And I will often use the metaphor of your mental fitness golf bag. So for those golfers out there, you go out with a set of clubs. You're not just going to take your putter. It's not going to be effective for each shot. So in this mental fitness golf bag, you need to equip yourself with a variety of tools to handle the different scenarios. So if you're distracted, or if you're overwhelmed, or if you're feeling doubts and fear, there's going to be a different tool for each one of those. So I want to talk to you about 2 quick tools that I think are easy to implement, and one I use with some of the top performers today. So the first one is clarity. Clarity is all about knowing who you are at your best and knowing what you are hungry for. Pressure typically comes from when we really, really want something to happen and there's no certainty that we're going to achieve that outcome. And although we don't know how things are going to unfold, we can identify the behaviors that we want to reproduce. So, helping our young athletes get clear on who they are at their best gives their brain a job and helps them focus in on what they can control versus focusing in on the result or the outcome. How can we do this? A little exercise called above the line and below the line. Above the line, when are 3 past performances where you perform decent or pretty well? And you identify what those are. Below the line, when you were somewhat less than magnificent. And then you kind of look at the above the line and you say, okay, what did you do? What were the actions that led to that great performance? Well, I prepared well. I followed the game plan. I focused on my role. I was present, whatever those may be, 4 or 5 things. And so help them. And then for their next game, say, okay, which one do you want to focus it on? And then once again, it gives them that focus point and lets them focus on what's in their control. So clarity. Number 2, I would say mindfulness. Mindfulness being the deep awareness of this present moment in an open and curious way. And so it's all about our ability to be where our feet are in this moment. We've heard a lot of buzz about mindfulness, and the reason being is because there's a lot of great science and research on the multiple benefits. helps us regulate our emotions, helps us direct our attentional control, helps us be in this moment and focus on the task at hand versus the past or the future. And so a quick exercise you can do with your young athlete is, let's say you're in the car if you're a parent, or you're just right about to start practice. Well, just get them to focus in on their breath. Stop everyone and say, okay, park what you did and just connect to the breath. Notice the breath coming in and out of the body. Breath is always in this present moment. And get them to do that for about a minute, saying if your mind wanders, normal, just bring it back to the breath, and then get them to set an intention. How do they want to be? Not what they want to do, how do they want to show up for the next 30 minutes of practice? The mindfulness minute, just to get them started. That's a way to start tripping some of these tools in. And there are 100 of them, but those are just a few to get you started. Don't let your young athlete be like me and let their mind be a thief of their big moment. Be proactive and start introducing mental fitness tools early on in their career.